What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Zach from the Midwest Meltdown.
It's Josh. Today's episode is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Head on over there and apply today to become a member and be immediately connected with advertisers that fit your audience. Go to podgo.co at podgo.co and do not forget to tell them that the Midwest Meltdown sent you.
Hey, Deed.
Yeah.
We got a very special guest on today.
I know you messed up your cadence. I think it's because you're so excited.
I think I did. Yeah, I was like, I saw the recording going, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch. I just went with it. I'm so excited. So, everybody, we have on our show today the GM, that's correct, general manager of the South Bend Lions Esports team. Sorry for all you soccer fans tuning in and now tuning out. Mr. Don Moore. Don, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be here. How's everyone doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing great. You are our second ever guest on the show, so
Awesome.
Welcome. We're very happy to have you. Josh and I have been trying to expand our horizons, get more people. And Josh is a little shy of people, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, you know me.
I'm trying to open him up to more people. You know, get him out of his shell a little bit.
There we go. Well, this was a good year for him, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sit at home. Don't talk to me.
Minimal interactions. Josh's perfect scenario. So, Don, like I said, we bring people on the show. When Josh and I first started the show, we gave people our top 10 list of video games, kind of let people get to know us. So I'd like for you to rattle off what were your top 5 favorite video games to kind of let our audience get to know who you are a little bit.
Yeah, that's so tough because, again, I don't know how old you guys are, and I'm not going to ask you to say that on air, but I'm an old head. I'm 37, so I go back to like 1985, getting an NES and being like the happiest kid in the world. So, I mean, you got to go top 5. That's because I've been around literally for almost every generation.
I know it was a tall order, and I was like, I was thinking about it. Like, even when we were creating our top 10s, like it's tough.
It took us hours.
Yeah, it took us a very long time.
And I'm probably still not even happy with my list.
Exactly.
Because you go back and you're like, oh man, I forgot this one. Let me move up. Like, no, but I honestly, I'm a big recently. Being, from 20s to now, I'm a big sports guy, obviously, my whole life. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy sports video games. But if we have to go like top 5, I would say number 5, I loved because, back in the late 80s, early 90s, like some of the first like multiplayer games, like Contra was my jam.
Oh,
like,
shit.
we would rush home. We would rush home. Like off the bus back home in New York and like, oh, who's first player? Who's second player? Let's go blow this shit up type of thing. And so I would say like 5 would be Contra. You got to give it up to, Sonic and Tails for Sega.
Yeah.
Another multiplayer, one of the original multiplayers. So I would put that at number 4. You can't go wrong with Mario Kart for SNES.
Nope.
We'd have to put that at number 3. Number 2 is, man, I love a good RPG, and I love, and a lot of people make fun of me for this, but I don't care because it brings some of my favorite things together. I love Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've had my roommate in college rip through those games. Like, they're very entertaining.
Yeah. I'm a big Disney guy, and you don't hear that a lot. The reason why is because I work there. I have a lot of ties there, so a big Disney guy. And you bring Final Fantasy in, and I'm like, all right, I'm sold. So we're good.
Exactly.
Done.
Yeah, but number 1, this was the most contentious game for me and all my friends living back home. NHL 94.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
This is all we did. If we had a snow day or a Saturday morning or a Saturday night, like typical 90s sleepover bullshit, like old school, like get some Pizza Hut, hang out and play NHL 94 till 2 a.m. Like that is, we ran through seasons. Like we'd have pieces of paper and it'd be like the four of us, like I call them my brothers. I grew up with them since I'm like a year old. We're still best friends. They're amazing guys, all families now. It's really weird. But we'd have papers of like head-to-head matchups, and like we'd go through playoffs. Like it was really weird. But we played this game forever. It didn't matter that 95, 96, 97 came out. Nah, we're playing NHL 94, and that's it. And when it came out this year on PS4, when NHL 21 came out and they had the NHL 94 retro.
Yeah.
It was the new, with like the teams now with the rosters. I was so excited. But then I found out that it wasn't multiplayer, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
How you gonna
I
have
don't
this
know
game come
why.
out?
I don't know why they didn't do that.
How are you going to have this game come out and I can't play with my friends right now? Like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
But no, yeah, NHL 94 for sure that's what started it all. I mean, also it was the year the Rangers won the cup. So on the cover, well, no, actually not on the cover of that one. That was on 95 with Richter making the save. But yeah, I mean, NHL 94, man. A lot of people be like, that's your number one game. Yeah, because of the nostalgia and the memories. Absolutely. Like, well,
dude,
I would still do it today.
That is what's up, though. Yeah. I mean, the theme with your top five is pretty obvious, but I think respectable, no less, is that it's all about what you did with your friends.
Right.
And so, like, Zach and I mean, I'm sure he doesn't mind. So I'm 28, Zach's 27. Yep. So, like, we missed that part of being we were obviously really young.
Yeah.
So we didn't have, like, you know, the mental capacity to do stuff like set up all those seasons and stuff like that you were talking about, which is really impressive and kind of awesome, honestly. Kind of jealous of that experience because it was when gaming was a lot simpler and you could sit down with your buddies and just play a game. And so I don't know if anybody would hate on you for that. And if they do, they're out of their fucking mind.
You mean back then you're not buying battle passes or loot or anything like that?
No. Yeah. And like, that's the thing that it's so funny because I have a 6-year-old son, and I have a 14-year-old daughter. And my 6-year-old is just getting into the whole gaming scene to the point where he's better than me at Fortnite type of thing. So, like, yeah, we'll play duos, and like you'll hear him from upstairs. You died again, like that's just how it goes. So,
Dad, you suck.
You're grounded.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's 10 times better than me, but it's so much different. Like I remember, like coming home and playing. And here's another one that could have broken my top 5, but it didn't. Like coming home and getting excited to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh my God.
Like exactly. And people don't get what it's like anymore to put a game into a system, press start, and immediately begin playing. Now it's oh, there's an update. Oh, it's not like, you know, when you download a game on PS4 or PS5 right now and you get it from the PS Store and you upload it and you're like, oh sweet, it's done. And you go in and it's like, no, you still got another hour, but here, play this game for an hour. I don't want to do that. Like I want to play the game, or here's an update, or here's this. And it's just, yeah, I'm dating myself to be honest with you, but it's one of those things where I kind of missed that era and that simplicity of it. But again, you look at, like, I'm extremely, extremely excited for MLB The Show this year. And for that to come out on next gen and all that, like that's one of the games I play religiously now. And I mean, yeah, I'm excited, but now you get all these release dates and everyone like is told, like back then I didn't know when Super Mario 3 came out. I just went to the store and was like, oh shit, there it is. I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
Like I wasn't looking at like, oh, this is coming out in a month. I can't wait. Like now I'm like counting down, like, oh, like with Cyberpunk, and that was disappointing.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm not even going to get into that, but yeah, it's
that's a whole other episode.
Complete. Yeah, we could talk for hours, but yeah, it's one of those things where the simplicity is gone. It's you know, how much money you spend on the game now is how good you are, and I don't feel like that's especially in sports games and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's not fair. So it's I don't know. It's one of those things where go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Josh, I think Josh could like attest to that with the recent NHL game where you were trying to get.
Yeah, dude.
Trying to
NHL
go for that
19.
online, yeah.
I spent. You're exactly correct. I spent hours and hours. I was trying to platinum it. I'm still one trophy away, and the trophy was get to number 1 in like division play, not the EA
Yeah.
Sports Hockey League one, but just the general division play. And I couldn't do it. But it did, like, it forced me to spend money, which I'm fucking embarrassed to admit. But like, I tried to spend money to buy packs to get better players because I was just getting roasted all the time, and it sucked. I literally I had that. It bothers me still. Like, I have this game with one trophy hanging out that I'll never get from platinum, and I play the game so much.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like with me and MLB The Show. I'm big on the Diamond Dynasty because I like collecting the cards. Like, I think that's the best. Instead of like Hut or Foot or whatever, Madden Ultimate Team and all that, like MLB The Show's system is pretty cool to where you can earn stuff without like spending money. So I'm all about like collecting the cards. And I finally, like last week, finished all the team collections. I mean, the game came out a year ago, and I just finished all the team collections. So all 32 MLB teams, I've collected everything. I got all the stuff. I got the Mickey Mantle 99 Diamond. I got all that, and I was like, I felt accomplished, and I spent not a dime. So I was pretty happy with that. Like I said, I come from old school, so I'm not going to spend money. Like, I'm paying for the game. I'm not spending more money on you.
Right,
like I paid for the game. Like, I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I miss, I guess, the simplicity of it. Like, now it's all your internet connection or the servers are down or like, Jesus Christ, never ends.
Dude, you hit the nail on the head, though, with all, like, literally everything you just said. I couldn't agree more with all that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny
crazy.
going back, like, kind of about like your like the old school cartridges and stuff like that. I saw a meme the other day that was like, could you imagine if COVID hit back when that was the case, where you had to blow on the cartridges?
Everybody's blowing their germs around.
Blowing their germs everywhere.
Everybody's sick for playing Nintendo.
Just going to Blockbuster, getting the trading games in and out, and it's just because people are blowing on the damn things all the time.
Oh man, you know, it's funny. I never thought about that. You know, we used to do the one where you'd put it under your shirt and blow into it as well, because it for some reason that just sounded better. I don't know. And then the other thing you used to do with the NES is where you used to put the game in, but you didn't put it in all the way and press down. You put it in so it hit that lip and it make that click noise.
Yep.
And for some reason, that's why we thought it would work. Like a bunch of idiots. Like, that didn't fix anything. It's just
we as
that's how it was.
were
And then, like,
such a rare breed.
Oh yeah, and then like Super Nintendo came out and we're like, oh, it's top loader. And then little do you know, like, that shit was in Japan for regular Nintendo. It was a top loader for Famicom. And you thought you were getting something special. We're like, oh, this is great, Sega and SNES. And they got this like 10 years ago. Like,
here, have our leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the era of blowing into anything, like now the era is you get an Xbox Series X and people are blowing their vape pens in it like idiots.
Oh my
to get
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
The fact that Microsoft has to come on social media and say, "These do not blow your extremely wet vape pens into an electronic device," it's somewhat bothersome.
Yeah,
like, I don't understand why.
Just makes you question where we're going as a society.
Yeah, like, if you have to come on and say, that's almost as bad as like, "Hey, don't eat these Tide Pods because they're dangerous." Shouldn't really have to put that warning label on anything, because if you're doing that, then you might there's a problem.
There's a
Go
lot
ahead,
of going on.
Eat it.
Yeah. I told my wife, it's like natural selection. They shouldn't even put anything on there. Just let them go. Whatever.
Take do not eat off of lead paint.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's
the same people that eat the Tide Pods.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Zach.
No. Go ahead, Josh. I was just gonna say, let's we can make a little bit of a transition here. Got plenty more here on the plate to discuss.
Yeah. So Don, we would love to know, as a GM, what does that entail? What's kind of your day-to-day activities and duties?
Man, so I mean, I guess because I know you were going to ask how this came about.
That's it. Yeah,
we can go just full I can give you the timeline and how it works. I mean,
That would be fantastic.
Perfect.
yeah. So about a year ago, I mean, I started the Game On a Sports podcast for everyone. It was January 31st last year, which was probably the stupidest time to start a sports podcast. But what the hell did I know? So when I found out that the South Bend Lions soccer team was coming to South Bend, I'm a big soccer fan, have been my whole life. Italian immigrant family, everything. So huge soccer fans. When I found that out, I took a shot. I messaged the guys. I mean, I knew the leadership team and the ownership team was in England. So I messaged everybody. I said, hey, listen, there's a couple teams in USL2 that have podcasts. We would love to be your official podcast, help you guys out, get started with that. Didn't hear anything for like a week. And I was like, well, hey, I tried. Then, thankfully, Chris Rivet, the marketing director, who's an awesome guy, got back to me. We had a conversation, gave him my ideas, went round and round. And then he was like, yeah, we'd love to have you as the official podcast. And, obviously that was a little further down the line. That was like end of February, beginning of March, mid-March. So I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, this is great. It's not like an MLS team, but to us, it's big. And that's, that's what mattered. So then obviously COVID hit. Their soccer season usually starts May, goes to the end of July. It's mostly college players and whatever. It's path to pro. So it's not like pro, but it is. It's weird, but it's not a lengthy season. It's when they move up to USL when it'll become lengthy, and it'll go on for like 6 months or so. But so that happened. There was a couple of teams that were getting esports teams and just playing FIFA and doing their thing. And Chris, I went with Chris and I said, listen, man, like we should do an esports team, like 100%. And he's like, I got some stuff on the back burner. That's a great idea. Let me know. And little did I know, like I had no idea that they were building an esports arena here in South Bend. Like I had no idea. Found that out through, which this is hilarious, through my wife, might I add, who works for the city, who works for the city, and her boss runs the esports arena as well. And she's like, oh yeah, they're building one. I'm like, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I never played a video game in my life. You don't know me.
Yeah, thanks for just mentioning that in passing.
Yeah. So, but it turns out that Chris knew about it. He's been in contact. So, going through everything, gets to about end of October, close to Halloween, beginning of November. And he reached out to me. He's like, listen, we're going to roll this out. I want you to be boots on the ground, all that, and get stuff going. So because it was supposed to be done, the arena was supposed to be done in June. Obviously that didn't happen due to COVID. The got pushed back. They started finishing it around Christmas time. And the grand opening was February 4th, I believe, or the 5th for the arena, which was awesome. I can get you guys links or whatever. It's a pretty dope place.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, and it's interesting because he's like, all right, obviously several meetings, what games we're going to play, what we're going to do. He wanted to do FIFA, but FIFA is a little tough, but we are doing it with single player. We have two guys who are awesome, Devin and Colton, shout out to them. They represented us in the lower league E-Cup, which is actually a huge FIFA tournament that goes on for lower league soccer teams. So you have one guy that represents one team. So both of them represented us, the South Bend Lions, one on PC and one on PS4/PS5, which was awesome. They went pretty far. That was a blast. We play Rocket League, which is as outside of FIFA, pretty much the only other soccer game you can play with cars, and it's actually pretty competitive. We play in the IGL, which is the Indie Gaming League. It started in Indianapolis. It's huge. Shout out to Mike Tanoski and all those guys out there. I mean, they're awesome. They run an amazing system there. It's a blast. And we're also playing Apex, which is something that I am not interested in, but I've became interested in. because of the people that play it. But those are the 3 games we play right now competitively. We are looking to expand. We just want to get this perfected first before we expand more, so to speak.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, that's how it started. In short, I mean, there's a much longer story, but I don't want to keep you guys for 3 hours. But it as far as being the GM, I have 2 other guys that are like my that manage it as well. Shout out to Elliot and Zach, awesome guys. They help me out with a lot of stuff. Uh, Elliot's like my techie guy because I'm not that guy, so I just call him techie because I don't like. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have stream overlays for the Lions Twitch stream. We wouldn't have graphics. We wouldn't have stuff like that. So shout out to him. Zach is I look at him as the community guy. He's always in the chats. He's always hanging out, gets everyone together. He's always talking people up, and then everyone streams and everything like that. So we're super happy with the core group that we have, and then we have Aiden as well. Aiden does a lot of the graphic design and things like that. I can show you a couple things, off air that he's done, which has been awesome. We haven't rolled that stuff out yet, but we have guys that are good in different areas, and I'm quite happy with that. What I do is make sure these guys are on the same page. So it's hilarious. I will say we have a great group of guys that are on this team. The Rocket League team is amazing. We got Jordan, Austin, Jose, and Ryan, aka Boots, who's just a great dude. The 4 of them right now are just in sync. Everything is good. We had a scrim the other day against Ball State University, which we think we beat 4-1. 4 games to 1, which was a blast. Yeah, and they're pretty professional. Ball State, they have a professional esports team for the college, which is great. I think they play teams like University of Michigan and stuff like that. So that was good to gauge where we're at. Yeah, and the Rocket League team is awesome. You just have to. It's one of those things where you manage expectations and you manage stuff. It's more people pleasing and just talking to them. It's funny because one of the kids on the team is 18, Jose, and everyone else is drinking age and he's not. And you kind of have to. He's very excited and he wants to go pedal to the metal, and sometimes you just have to get him to rein it in. And
yeah
and the Apex squad, I mean, we have a great squad. We have it's cool because I never saw this coming. So our team captain for Apex, she's female. She's awesome. Bree.
Oh, wow.
She is a hard ass. She don't take shit from nobody. And it's funny because it's just great to see, and everyone respects her. And we got some good guys on that team as well. They actually have a match today, their last match of the season at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Lions Twitch. It's their last match for IGL. So if anyone's, I don't know if this goes out today or if you guys want to check it out, it's awesome to watch them play. They're just a good group of guys. But mainly it's just creating relationships. Sort of like what I did when I reached out to you guys, creating relationships with like IGL and the league that we play in, talking to, obviously there's no tournaments going on right now because, COVID. So there's nothing in person. There is stuff coming down the road that is, half virtual, half whatever. And, we'll get involved in that. And then just community outreach as well, getting people involved within the community. And having them understand, because a lot of people still, which is sad to me, don't really know what esports is.
Right.
Especially the older heads, that obviously are older than me. Like, I try to explain to my in-laws and my dad and my mom, like, well, what's esports? Like, okay, well, here you go. And wait, it's video games? Yes. Oh,
Yes.
And it's funny to explain because, like, you have your parents back in the day, like, you're not going to make any money playing video games. You're not going to make any money playing video games. Go to school, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, well, funny to say that.
Look at me now.
Yeah. Like,
hey, everybody told us that we wouldn't make money off of talking about video games. And well, here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a different world now. It's so funny. Like, how it's changed. Because like if you would have said that to me when I was like 10, 11, 12, I've been like, yeah, you're probably right. It's just video games. What am I worried about? Now it's like, I got to come home. I got to stream. I got to stream tonight. I got stuff I got to do. Like my wife's like okay with it. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hold up.
She's like, she's trying to make like grocery orders and like, oh, you can't pick it up because you got to stream tonight. I'm like, well, thank you, honey.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, like, making progress. But no, it's honestly been awesome.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out.
Go ahead. No, you're good, dude.
What's the Twitch channel for the South Bend Lions Esports? Is there like a specific name to search, or?
Yeah, it's SBN Lions. We stole the airport code for South Bend.
They don't need it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's it. Okay, I see it here last week. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna give you guys
SBN Lions for everybody to go check out.
Yeah, and that's the same. That's the same with Twitter, and that's the same with Instagram as well.
Okay,
SBN Lions. It doesn't change. We're easy.
Awesome.
I mean, I will say after kind of hearing your journey and all the folks you've worked with, it sounds like as a whole you work with a bunch of cool people, and that kind of seems like that'll obviously make or break the experience no matter what you do, but it's you speak very highly of the people you work with, so that seems like you have a very positive relationship there and positive experience.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about like especially the guys that are in this with me, like the managers, especially the owners, Richie and Chris, the guys out there in England. They're awesome to work with and talk to. The guys here, my other boots on the ground, Elliot, Zach, Aiden, like those guys. Without them, this would be so hard for me to do it like on my own. So I'm extremely thankful to have those guys. I couldn't say enough about them. They're just amazing people all around. So, luckily, I lucked out. I hear a lot of toxic situations that are out there,
really?
Especially in esports and video games and, communities in general.
Yeah.
And there is none of that here. It really isn't. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's a very welcoming community here. And, we're looking to be the official esports team of South Bend. I mean, we pretty much are, but we want to take it to that next level. But we also want to be responsible and respectful as well. We know we are still in a pandemic. We're not going to do anything that's outside of the parameters of where we need to be.
Right.
Luckily this year, the soccer team is going to play. Everything's going to be good. So having that and banking off of that and having the support of, soccer players and esport players, and it's just going to be a great community to tap into here. South Bend, I've only been here. It's going to be 6 years in May, and it's grown on me. I mean, coming from New York, a big city, here everyone knows you. Everyone, is respectful for the most part. Everyone, it's a very tight knit community. So to have something like this and people get behind, like we were astonished. And I know it's not big numbers, but you have your first match, whether it be FIFA or Rocket League, when we first started, and to get 40, 50 people in the Twitch stream that are all like, South Bend, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I take pride in that, and being the first thing South Bend Lions to get out there. Unfortunately the soccer team couldn't play, but to be able to have that brand out there and have built that, me, Zach, Elliot, and Aiden, building that. I mean, that's fantastic. I give all those guys props, and it's been a great ride so far, and I'm super excited for what's to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I guess, I got to give you guys credit too, because again, like you said, it is a different time that we're living in, and it's crazy how like the esports have really taken, like, even for me, for example, I've been telling Josh this nonstop, but like when all the pro seasons got shut down, like football, hockey, all that stuff, I started watching professional Rocket League, and I started watching professional Call of Duty. Like I still actively watch the CDL on YouTube and on Twitch and stuff. And it's crazy to think, like I tell my friends that, they're like, you're watching people play video games? And I'm like, yeah, like it's crazy, because like when you have all of this now online server type stuff, you can still play whenever. Basically, you get everybody on their computers or their systems, and everybody can just go play then.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because you look at what this, what this caused is people to stay home and pick up new hobbies. So there's a lot of people that have picked up this hobby and are getting good because of the situation. So if you look at esports as a whole, when things are able to come back, no pun intended, but back online again and back to have everything, normal, tournaments at different cities and stuff like that, it's going to be huge because the amount of people that have picked this up and are interested in this now, because that was the only thing that survived.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
For a little bit. And it's huge. We're super excited, and I'm sure you guys are. I mean, we're trying to ramp up to see what we can get into and dive into. So, I mean, it's going to be a blast. And for people that don't get it and don't understand it, I strongly suggest you sit and watch some of it because it's just as competitive. Yeah, I'm not running, my guys aren't running for touchdowns and scoring goals and taking slap shots, but they're just putting in the time and they're playing well. And, it's just as much practice as it is for anything else.
Sure,
for
sure.
sure. I'll
Yeah.
say this for anybody who has yet to play Rocket League. That's pretty much the one game that I saw across the three that I've actively I play it way too much. Josh can, I think, attest to that, and I'm still not that great. Like I mean I can get by on some competitive level, but like in terms of what those guys are at, not a chance. But it's just funny though because people will probably go watch Rocket League and they'll be like, oh, what's this? Like, there's no way this can be that hard. I
Yeah,
challenge you to play the game and then go watch these guys. And
Oh yeah.
it is
Good God.
ridiculous what
Yeah.
these guys can do. It's insane.
I try to play with a couple guys that are on the team. We have that kid,
Mhm.
Jose. He's 18. He's a grand champion. And I
No
didn't touch the
way.
ball. I didn't touch the ball. Not one time. I was like, I'm done. I go back to hockey.
Forfeit.
Okay, so you mentioned that your, obviously the goal is to expand. So say no requirements, no rules, perfect scenario, what would be your first choice for the next game you guys would expand to?
Man, there's a lot in talks. A lot of people are suggesting, a lot of people are like, oh, go to Fortnite because it's mainstream and
Mhm.
everything. But you look at the competitiveness of Fortnite and to start something like that from scratch, maybe.
Yeah.
COD, I'm iffy on because every year there's a new game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it stays, like if they're going to keep updating Warzone or how that's going to go. And I'm not sure on that. I have some people that are like, oh, go League of Legends. And that's something that's being looked at. So it's hard for me to say right now what we're doing. So in IGL, there's circuits. Today's the last day for us for the winter circuit. Rocket League was done. Apex is done today, and then there's playoffs, and then the end of this technically goes all the way to the end of March, and then April starts up spring circuit. So our goal is by the summer circuit, which I believe is going like June or July, is to add one or two new games to the arsenal of what we already play. But we're the way we recruit right now because of certain restrictions is we're recruiting within what we call here the Michiana area, which is Michigan, Indiana, because we're right on the border here in South Bend.
Right.
So we're recruiting within that area. So whatever is tapped into, eventually we will get to the point where we can recruit outside of that area. But obviously, small steps in the right direction. So that's where we're headed. But I'm not sure yet. We haven't pinpointed. We are leaning towards a couple things. My mind goes to COD somewhat, maybe League of Legends, something like that. But I'm not 100% sure yet on where we can go. There are games that we are talking about and that we're trying to figure out what is plentiful in this area and how we can recruit in this area.
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because, like, I mean, like you were saying, for example, like with Call of Duty, how they have, well, because in the past two games now they have now introduced the CDL, so now it's like an official league where they have like quote unquote regular season with the majors, and then that's like they have playoffs. It's like that whole thing has been so restructured, and quite honestly, within the past 2 years, I think it's grown such a huge following. Like they've got so many great sponsors and stuff. So I mean, like you said though, it's tough because every year it's the new game. So like it was obviously
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 1920, now 2021 it's the new Black Ops game. So yeah, it's that for sure. I think if you can pull it off would be amazing. But yeah, that would
Yeah.
definitely be like a challenge thinking of trying to get immediately into it, you know?
Yeah, and that's something that we are talking about, and a lot of people have brought it up here. Even guys that play games for us like Rocket League and Apex are like, "Yo, we should do COD." So it's definitely in the forefront
Mhm.
of what we're looking at. So that is definitely something that we will take a look at and to see what the community here in this area is like, and then just take it from there. But that is one of the games that we're leaning towards.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I do have another question. So obviously, like I said, I'm huge into Rocket League, and I watch a lot of the Rocket League Championship Series, a lot of the North American teams and stuff. So
Mhm.
with you guys being where you're at right now, what steps, or basically like what do you guys need to do in terms of winning or playing or whoever, like to get to that with those teams? How do you get yourself into that realm, basically?
So we're out here just right now we have the one season where we had our guys, and the way it works is with IGL, um, within the gaming league, I want to say they place people in tiers. The highest ranking person, that's what tier you're in. So this year it was kind of tough because we had guys that are very good at Rocket League, but not as good as our guy Jose,
Hmm.
who's a grand champ, and they placed us in the tier 2, and it was rough. It was
Yeah.
very rough because
Right.
you got guys that are just blowing by people. And so our goal this year is to have, we're going to have a singles, a 1v1. Jose is going to play in that 1v1 because he's like top 0.2% in solos.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so we're gonna have him represent us there, and then possibly duos, and then we're gonna have our trios team as well be in tier 3, which is where we would kind of fall right now. Obviously, these guys are getting better as the time goes, gauging it against, Ball State University and Rowan University, who we've dominated and played well against. Ball State, who we dominated the other night. Thank God. Those are good. Those are good indications for me on where the team is going, and they're improving all the time. I mean, they're constantly practicing together. They're always playing, always having conversations. So that's what you like to hear.
Yeah.
Um, so we're going in that direction to where I think probably by the end of this circuit, we'll be ready to kind of enter some tournaments and see where we stand as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it right, immediately. Like I said, our goal is to take the smaller steps in the right direction rather than jump into something where we get obliterated and then it just kills confidence and kills morale.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
We don't really want to do anything like that, but I think where we're at right now is a really good spot with all 3 games, to be honest with you. And then that's why in the summer I said we'll probably add something else, because then what's going to happen in November is a new COD is going to come out, maybe, or I don't know if there's talks about that. They may not, maybe wait another year, but
Hmm.
then we'll add that in the summer and build that roster up, because like Apex, we've already now, and Apex starts in this spring. We have 2 teams now. This year was
Okay.
just 1. Now we went from 4 guys to 9
Oh,
Shit.
very
jeez.
quickly. Yeah, so we're growing, and it's fun to watch, and we have various skill levels. We have, we're not one to be A team, B team. That's not how we're gonna go. But we have people that are grouped together that have played together this whole time that are gonna stick together on one team who've done really well. I mean, I can't complain. There was 26 guys in our division for Apex, and I believe we're in 5th place as of today.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not going to complain right now. For the first time, these guys playing together, first circuit, getting this done and getting the nuances down. So I'm quite happy with that, and
Hmm.
we'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm excited to see the growth. For you have 4 people to start, and you have 9 going into next year. You've grown
Yeah.
by 5 people interested. So I'm super pumped for that.
That
Yeah,
is
for sure.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, like you
absolutely.
said, you guys are so early on. Like, you got to find
Yeah.
ways to grow the confidence and get the players into the games. But I mean, like you said though, with it being so early, you guys getting that expansion, like that's huge. Like that's gotta be great for a GM like yourself.
Yeah, and it's good to see, especially since we started in a year where there was nothing. It's kind of like we have this as our like. I'm using this as like our, quote unquote, like our practice runs at things. So that's why we kind of want to perfect things, get practices down, get the nuances down, get everything down to where when we are rolling and there are tournaments within our home arena at the Bendix Arena, downtown South Bend, that we are ready to roll and represent the city as best we can.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's what we're working on now, and I think we're doing a pretty damn good job of it, to be honest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So as we wrap it up here, one more question for you. What are you playing in your free time?
Right now, like I said, I've been grinding MLB The Show, trying to get my cards, but that's done.
Yep.
I play NHL. I still play NHL with my boys. We have an EASHL team back home in New York. We still play every now and then. Playoff started yesterday, so we're kind of excited. I haven't dove into anything major to where I have. I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I love the Assassin's Creed games, and I have Valhalla sitting in my library on my PS5. The time I like to put in time for stuff and like get the story and do everything. But with esports, with having a family, trying to do the podcast stuff and trying to get, everything going, especially for my 9 to 5 job, which hopefully esports becomes that very soon. It's tough to like dive into a story based where I know what's going on. I want to. I think once I get everything down scheduling wise, where I hit that sweet spot, I think I'm going to, because a lot of things have suffered. Mainly my Twitch streaming, which I didn't want to, but I normally go on twice, some maybe 3 times a week. I used to go 4 or 5, and it just took a hit. So I may jump back into it. The last game I played story based was Miles Morales, which was absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
That game was amazing. Loved it. I beat that on stream. I played the whole game on stream, beat it on stream.
Oh really?
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, that was a blast. I absolutely love that game. Huge Spider-Man guy, so that was fun to play. But yeah, nothing really crazy right now. I think I might get into Valhalla. A lot of guys are saying, "Oh, you should get Valheim for PC." So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I know exactly where you're coming from though, because I don't have a ton of time, but I want to. If I'm gonna start a story game, I want to like give it a bunch of time. So that's kept me from playing like Borderlands 3, which is like I have a Borderlands tattoo. It's one of my favorite things ever. But I haven't put the time into it because I'm like, well, I'm not even gonna experience it the way I want to. So I just keep pushing it back. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, my buddy Pete streams that. I have not gotten into Borderlands, but
Josh got me into play. So I actually played the first Borderlands on PS3 when I was in college, and Josh got me into it, and I was instantly hooked. Like those games are absolutely insane. Josh and I play the like co-op campaign together, so I'm actually Josh waiting on to play the game is actually me waiting on to play because I want to play Borderlands 3 with him to get like the co-op going and stuff, and I don't want to like play ahead or any because that's like Borderlands is his baby. So that'd be like if the new Last of Us came out and he started playing that before I did, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like that's my thing. You know that I have a tattoo of Firefly on my shoulder. Don't do that to me. But like it's crazy because like being in a video game podcast, I'm constantly trying to find new games to play, new games to talk about. And like Josh said, though, there's 2 games I'm waiting on him to play for us to discuss. One of which is Days Gone, which I know Josh is going to love as soon as he plays it. And the other one is Jedi Fallen Order.
I love
one of these days.
Jedi Fallen Order. I really did. I'm a big Star Wars guy, and I really enjoyed that game. I think that's one of the better Star Wars games that have come out, to be honest with you.
I think as of late, I would say for sure. I mean, Josh and I, for Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think that's probably got to be a top 5 of most hours we've collectively played together, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like we played that way too much online, like almost to like a disturbing amount. I got to play through Fallen Order. I did enjoy it. I told Josh on one of our episodes, actually kind of earlier on, I said the only thing I didn't like about it was kind of the old school backtracking that you had to do on levels, where you
Yeah.
had to like learn a skill to unlock said door, but you had to go through like 7 missions to get that skill and then go all the way back. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, this isn't like PlayStation 1 here. Like we're on the PS4 now. Like it's Star Wars. Expand the horizons, make a great huge story. But I mean, overall, it was still great though. I'd still say that it's still very great.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that, and I also like the new. I haven't played it a lot lately, but I have a lot of people asking me to play with them. The oh man, it's the Starfighter one that just came out.
Oh, Rogue Squadron.
Rogue
Squadron.
Yeah, Squadrons. Yeah. I played it a couple of times. I haven't really dove into it, but I have a couple guys that are like, "Oh, you should play," and I keep hearing that it's getting bigger and bigger in esports.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
like there's a
damn.
lot of people that are now playing on esports, and I'm like, okay,
That's actually really dope.
I got it's in my library. I have to re-download it. I had to make room on my PS5 because, of course, let's make a PS5, but not make any room on it. So
Seriously.
yeah, so I had to clear some space, and that and Cyberpunk took a back seat.
I think Cyberpunk can just take a backseat forever.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. So, but we're not going to get into that or Marvel Avengers.
Yeah.
I have heard this. So I have the VR for PlayStation. I have heard that for Rogue Squadron that it is a lot better to play in VR.
Of course.
I'm sure it has to be, right? Like,
oh yeah. Why wouldn't you want to sit in an X-wing?
X-wing, yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Exactly.
Psychopaths.
For sure.
All right, let's give us one more one more spiel. Where can everybody find you, Don, as we wrap up our episode?
Plug everything.
Yeah. So as far as the podcast, Game On Sports Podcast for everyone, you can find us on Twitter at Game On Everyone, Instagram at Game On Sports Podcast. I got an episode coming out Monday. Yeah, we had the Jordan versus LeBron talk. We're not going to get into that here, but yeah, it's ridiculous. And then as far as the South Bend Lions, it's SBN Lions for everything. So on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, everything. SBN Lions. Definitely give us a follow. Pop into the streams every once in a while. Also on my Twitch, where we have a bunch of stuff that we do. It's gaming with Game On. So we have that going. We just went live last night. I played FIFA with a bunch of guys from the South Bend Lions, and we hung out in pro club. So that was a blast. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. That's where you can find us. So, feel free to follow, come hang out, ask us anything. We're always available.
Hell yes.
Awesome.
Please go check that stuff out. Thank you so much, Don, for coming on this fine Saturday morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime, for real. If you ever need, if you want to get some of the players on or whatever, let me know. It would be a blast to have them be able to get on this. So
that would be awesome.
That'd be, honestly, that'd be, wow, that actually be perfect. So like Don said, go give everybody, I'm going to plug everything. So once this episode goes up, I'll tag everything. I'll tag Twitter, Instagram, Twitch for you guys. Awesome. And like I said, go check these guys out. Everybody who doesn't know about esports yet or wants to get to know them, go check these guys out. Go check out some streams like Don said. And who knows, you might find something you're interested in. Who knows? Josh, anything else?
Nope. Time to say goodbye.
All right.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy. Stay safe,
you
guys.
You too, Don. Take it easy.
Come on, Jeff.
Take it easy.